Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
Thank you. Welcome in. Great morning, Lock Shoppers. Host, I don't know, whatever number you want to call me here. 5, 6, 7. Lieutenant Eric with you. Does the music normally last this long to bed? It's Lieutenant Eric with you today, filling in for Dustin Nielson on the Lock Shop, presented by Play Alberta. Download the Play Alberta app today or visit playalberta.ca. They got it all. Our EST specials, CFL, NFL, NCAA, NBA, MLB, soccer, tennis, Aussie rules, badminton, bandy, boxing, Call of Duty, chess, Counter-Strike, cricket, cross-country, curling, coming up, darts, e-basketball, Formula One, futsal, Gaelic hurling, golf, handball, Olympics, also coming up, rugby, snooker, and it goes on and on and on. The point being, Play Alberta's got you covered. Once again, make it easy on yourself. Download the app or playalberta.ca today. More on what we got cooking over there EST-wise from Dusty's early bird bet this morning. We went on the hard court for that, so more on that to come. Obviously, to come on this program, Andrew Paterson, a.k.a. Hustler, out of Winnipeg Sports Talk, joining the program a little later on. You are seeing and hearing me today, and we thank everyone for listening on the iHeart TuneIn Radio apps, and, of course, on the YouTube. Pound that thumbs up. It'll go big for our station, but even personally for me, hosting the show today. It'd be great to get the support to bring it to the next meeting when I ask for a raise at this company. So a good morning to everybody in the chat there and listening and watching today. I am in because Dustin Nielson, if you didn't hear this morning, he's attending, and he attends very important meetings every day, even though on the weekends regarding EST. But today's a very special one for us, for Edmonton Sports Talk, and for the nation, for Canadian football in general. Him and Matthew Iwanek have a meeting on Teams, I do believe, with the CFL and a few dignitaries from that league. And they'll be going over the concept, the idea of season-long CFL fantasy. So keeping my fingers crossed. Hopefully that meeting goes well. I'm sure Iwanek is highly prepared, as he usually is, with our Dunya. That's our league that celebrated its 10th season this year. And 10th season, first championship going to the Birmingham Barracudas, in which that championship will be dished out next week as well. So Matthew's done a good job of running our league for 10 years. I know Dusty's in this new pop-up league, which they used most of the information from the Dunya to construct their league. But imitation is flattery, and they've done a great job themselves as well. Dusty's kind of been ruling that league in terms of winning. So both of them, it's a dual front. They'll be approaching the CFL at a meeting, which was scheduled to start at 11 this morning. So we hope that goes well for them. We hope it goes well for the league, and we hope it goes well for the nation, because we all know what fantasy, season-long fantasy's done for the NFL and its growth and popularity, and we hope it kind of does the same with the Canadian brand. 780-218-9999 is the number to text as well. I do have access to the inbox. I will not be replying, but I can read. Smith TM14 says, Bandy, Dynamo Moscow versus CSKA Moscow. So if you're if you're going down the Play Alberta page, there are some shall we say, not so mainstream sports you can get into, but that's the beauty of it. And if you want to get a little crazy, get a little wild, use your game sense, you can get in on the bandy, as Smith TM14 says he might do today. Rusty Shackelford says should get a cardboard cutout of Dusty to have beside whoever is hosting. Not a bad idea. Don't know if we have that in the budget. And a couple other texts from the Hangout as well. I think that was a good one today. Hernan Salas, to my surprise, produces the show now. This is you. Did you apply, or was it just kind of?
No, Matty just keeps adding things to my plate. So,
and you can't say no in this business, right?
I can't produce 1 to 3 though. That's all I said to him.
No.
Well,
right? you shouldn't.
Shouldn't.
You probably could, though.
I probably could.
You've done it before. You've done the whole behind the controls and hosted the show. Yeah. It's kind of fun when you have. So, anyways, Hernan, you and I are good friends off the mic. I think we still are. Yeah. So I bring you in here, not to kill time necessarily, but you did have an interesting 5-legged parlay last night. Would you? Because I think in sharing we do confessions on Tuesday on the Nielsen show. And I think it's nice to kind of get these things off your chest and out of your system so that they're not so frustrating.
Sharing is caring, right?
Yeah. So
I've been so damn close, LT, because I always do a 5-leg parlay every night.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't put a lot, I put a bit, but they're always paying out pretty well.
Sure.
Okay. This is what I had yesterday.
Okay.
Check it out. So I pick 5 players, just randomly. I don't do any research.
How does your random go? Do you put them in
I just
drum?
Look at the name and I'm like, I like him tonight.
And if you get a feeling, yeah.
So these are just points. Dylan Cousins, Anthony Cirelli, Wyatt Johnson, Mark Scheifele, Kirby Dach. The payout was plus 1720. I only missed Kirby Dach. And I shouldn't say I do. He was on the first line yesterday. He's making his return. I said he's going to get a secondary assist. And then I'm going to the Oiler game, and Caulfield scores the winner. And I'm like, he was on the line with Caulfield. He got an assist. I check, and no, it wasn't him. So pretty damn close. But close doesn't mean anything.
Horseshoes, right? Or whatever. That's the
one remembers second place.
No, I had a draw to the 4-foot last night in our curling league to get a tie.
Yeah, I heard you played really well.
But I came up short. I was close, but it doesn't matter.
So I might dip it down to 4 players now because the 5 is a little hard to hit and then just put more money. That makes sense? Yeah.
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 There's not so much chance, but yeah, if you can afford it, certainly. I know you make...
Yeah.
With these new duties and roles that you have, you're probably rolling in the cash. I'm sure you can...
No comment.
No, but it's good to get it off your chest. It's a tough beat, man. I feel for you.
I just want to hit one, and then I can take a few weeks off. From betting, not from work.
Maybe from work too. You're not doing the ironic 25-cent thing, though.
Oh God, no! Come on.
He peacocks around here. He's like, oh yeah, big win last night.
I put $2 on this.
Oh jeez.
All right.
It was a juicy number.
I won $5.75. I'm also in on the Play Alberta. I play a little Baccarat on the live.
You like to walk around the casino. I know. Yeah. That's good.
That's a little dangerous, but
well, it can be. You use your game sense, though.
I do. I like Baccarat, though. It's a great game.
And we'll be doing a little of that Super Bowl as well. Sully Sports Bar and Lounge, Century Casino, Fort Road. I'm sure we'll get into the...
We'll have some good food.
Great food.
Probably a few pints.
Great company.
Enjoy Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
And then we hit the tables.
Hit the tables. I might be on a machine. Just saying.
Yeah.
Might go to the quick shots, quick hits. The early bird bet, as mentioned from earlier today, we went to the court. We decided to stay off the ice. We're on the hard court tonight. Very, very, very chalky. Dusty got it boosted up to plus 135. We're rolling with the Thunder. We're going with the Knicks. Thunder are visiting Milwaukee tonight. Knicks are at home to the Nets. We're going with the Pistons. We're taking on the Pelicans in New Orleans. And to complete that, we're going for the Celtics as well. They're at home to the Pacers. So Celtics, Knicks, Thunder, Pistons. You can get that plus 135. That's boosted up at our EST specials. You hit sports at the top tab, over to the left, EST specials. Click on that, and you can ride with Dusty for the early bird bet on the hard court tonight. A gentleman that I get to the privilege of talking to, not necessarily planned, but a few dates during the calendar, the sporting calendar. I never know when, so I never know what in particular that we're going to hit on. But Andrew Paterson, Hustler, Winnipeg Sports Talk, back on the program. It's good to see you, Huss. Doing all right?
Eric, it is a pleasure to see you. Are you shy? You're only in half of the shot. There we are.
Hernan's on the... Yeah, I got to...
And by the way, shout out to Latino Heat too. It always warms me when we do a raid of WST to the EST crew and send our people over there, and I'm get right into a spicy take from Hernan. So
he's the best. He's the best.
Not totally. Good to see you. Good to see you. I was pumped. I'm like, LTE today. Right on. Let's do this. And I did. I had just finished. I was a couple minutes late getting in here because I just finished doing something for our show this afternoon with our good friend Sarah Orleski.
Okay.
And so I hadn't even seen. So this is a wonderful surprise that we get
news to you as well. Hey, yeah. No, I was gonna throw you a text.
I mean, I've been pre-taping for the last little bit. So, but it's good. And Listen, I'll say this right on. I don't know if you saw my tweets. I was behind the Bills. I was supporting the Bills. I had said, you know what? This is a great team with an incredible fan base that deserves it. And listen, obviously being a Chiefs guy and a Mahomes guy, we have been the boogeyman in the playoffs. And I thought, okay, this was the year. So when the game went the way that it did on the weekend, I legitimately felt gutted for people like you, long-suffering Bills fans, because that was, I mean, listen, it was every game they play is a thriller. I mean, don't leave early. But, man, that's tough. And just for football fans in general, it really sucks that they didn't win because now we're getting Jared Stidham and Drake May in the AFC Championship game.
Well, and it was just... luckily we had a watch party at Boston Pizza Westgate that evening, and I had the chance to go out and kind of, shall we say, sip my sorrows away and complain to a bunch of people who didn't want to hear me complain. However, it was a great game, then albeit marred by, and look, the PIs, we don't need to go over the details of all of it, the catch and everything like that. I think to myself as well, and beating the Jags was a tough thing to do. And I know going to Mile High isn't a walk in the park. But with the lack of receiving options they had and injuries, peppered around their lineup, all three facets, it seemed like a player was leaving the field every second play during that Broncos game too, with 5 turnovers to take the top seed to overtime. I mean, They shouldn't have been in it. They were down 10-13 at one point or whatever it was, 10-13 points. And I know Josh Allen can provide some brilliance. He can also provide some question marks with that fumble prior to the half. But I do think, and I to take a silver lining out of it, taking the top seed to overtime and in the fashion, like for a football fan, you kind of don't want to see a classic like that marred by whatever happened in the calls. And I mean, I get PI and I get you have to make the calls, but for the most part of the game, flags are kept in the pocket, which is nice. But I just, to me, and then, but it was everything that transpired afterwards, and McDermott going on the phone and talking to reporters on the plane or whatever, and then him getting, and I get like too long at the rodeo, 5 years, no coach has ever taken after coaching 5 years or something to a Super Bowl. Whatever those metrics are, it really doesn't matter. And I do understand that, they've been so good in the regular season, you can't get them over the hump. But out of all the people getting blame, and you're not going to trade or drop Josh Allen after that game, I found it very strange that McDermott has to wear it. And even this morning, Pagula's speaking, Bean's speaking, and all this, and they're throwing Keon Coleman under the bus. And all. So it's kind of I said to Dusty this morning, I would rather go back in a time machine and be living in the J.P. Lossman times, because at least you knew you were crap. This is some other world where I don't really know where they go after this.
There's so much to it. I mean, the bottom line is the calls are going to go each way. I mean, they had multiple chances to win that game. And I'm sure for you, I mean, like missing Knox on that play at the end of the fourth quarter, I mean, that was the game. That was game over if that one gets hit. And again, they got the ball back in overtime and needed to kick a field goal and weren't able to do it. So, it's unfortunate. Obviously, I mean, it was probably, Josh Allen has some historic playoff games performance-wise where he has lost. This wasn't one of them, with the turnovers. But the reason I bring this up, not to pour salt in the wounds, is to talk about what happened this morning. Like, I'm a big fan just of the Buffalo sports market. I think that, they're a smaller market. They get shit on by all sorts of people. They don't get the respect they deserve, and their fans are absolutely amazing. And I think about what Sabres fans have been through. Yeah. Which is why it's so fun to see this team play the way that they have and, potentially be on the verge of ending this 14-year playoff drought, which is hard to even wrap your head around. Terry Pagula owns both of these teams. And if you're wondering how the Sabres got into the situation that they were in, look no further than this press conference this morning. I don't know if you guys have played it, played it on the broadcast today, but for people that missed it,
I was reading some notes. We didn't play any audio, but I was reading along as it was kind of leaking out.
Yeah. So essentially, okay, it's ownership. They're talking about moving on. Moving on from Sean McDermott. But a lot of Bills fans are like, well, wait a second. Brandon Beane's the guy that put this roster together.
Yeah.
And he gets a promotion.
A promotion, yeah.
So Bills Terry Pagula blamed the Keon Coleman pick on the coaching staff. He says the coaching staff pushed to draft Keon Coleman, and that was never Brandon Beane's top choice in that situation. The quote was, that was Brandon being a team player. He's taken heat over it. I'm here to tell you the true story.
Doing them a
Keon
solid.
Coleman is still on the roster of the Buffalo Bills. I've never heard anything like that from an owner. This is why most owners should be owners, sit in the press box and in their billion-dollar house or whatever, and let the professionals do it. Now, listen, you make a decision like this, you can come in. This is maybe the dumbest thing I've ever heard from an owner in pro sports. Like, it puts Beane in a terrible situation.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't even hired a head coach yet. What are the guys like? Before this, I would have said the best job opening in the league right now is the Bills. It's got to be the Bills. You're moving into a new stadium, incredible fan base. You got Josh Allen. Like, how is there a better fit? But for any job, there's what it looks like, but you also have to think about who you're working for.
Yep.
If you're one of the top candidates that have a bunch of options, to see what they're doing to McDermott on the way out, listen, I think that would give you a real reason to maybe sit back, pause a minute, and think, do I want to jump on this? As much as I'd love to coach Josh Allen, and I think I'd have a chance to win, and the facilities are going to be great. I was so stunned, Eric, when I heard that this morning, and I had to go back and listen a couple times, and now you're seeing it. Imagine being Keon Coleman, wherever he is in Cancun today, when he checks his phone. He's on vacation.
It's a terrible, I agree with everything you said. And I think another, they mentioned, it was due to the result against the Broncos that McDermott. So you never really, losing an overtime game in that fashion. And again, it's his, yes, after the game, the thinking heads got together and they said, yes, McDermott, you couldn't have found anybody that was saying. Now you could have went to a Bills fan and said, do you think maybe it's time or something like that? But certainly not based on what transpired in Denver and the result from that game. So that, to me, saying that out loud too is a little bizarre. But you're right. I mean, at this stage of the game as well, I know everybody was talking, Harbaugh. Maybe he's trying to find an out clause in his deal with the Giants, and when you're hearing stuff like this, and you mentioned owners, Matty here is a Ravens fan, as we all know. I think his owner, came down, gave their kicker a vote of confidence. Like, he said some right words, and I think Matty doesn't necessarily mind when he takes the podium and speaks because he's careful with his words and what he says. But for the most part, they shouldn't. I mean, sticking your nose into this, and now for any potential replacement, knowing the climate and knowing, again, you mentioned Beane and his roster or lack thereof. I mean, you're screaming out all season for some sort of help in that receiving core, and they just don't do it. And it's McCole Hardman's, and I had no offense to these guys. They came in and did as good as they could, but you surround Josh with a weapon there, at least one, and Keon Coleman too. I feel bad for the guy, but that situation was simmering all season long as well. So it's a tough. It sucks because you are in this window now, and you have the quarterback, and you have, as you mentioned, I mean, it's a good place, I think, to kind of, be a fan and be a coach. And if you do lead that franchise over the hump, you will be immortalized. But reading the quotes I did today, and I'll have to take a deeper dive. It's not really a good selling point, I don't think, from the higher ups there in Buffalo.
No, let's see, here's one from one of the guys in the Maccabee show. Terry Pagula saw T. Piscotty dominate his press conference in Baltimore and proceeded to go up on stage and be an absolute buffoon in Buffalo. Oh, and then the other thing that's come out after this, Eric, which is going to make things worse for Brandon Beane, is that there's an old clip that's already been clipped that's out there of them at the combine, mic'd up, watching Keon Coleman run his 40, and he came in at 550 or 457 or whatever it was. And Bean's going, that's good. That's good for us. That makes us more likely that we're going to get him. Like,
well, that's just him being a team player.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you know what? I don't want this guy, but you guys are. We've got a better chance of doing it. Anyways, it is definitely one of the cushiest fan team relationships in all of sports. And we can talk about the turnovers that Josh Allen made on the weekend. This was the biggest fumble that the Bills made in a long, long time. And, as they say, I still really hope that the Sabres do well and make the playoffs because I think the people deserve it. But you can kind of understand why and how those teams, particularly the hockey team, have been. I mean, to be honest, they just got lucky that whoever was scouting pushed hard enough to pick Josh Allen that turned into be, one of the greats of this generation in the National Football League. Because, I mean, without him, this team is, maybe they make the playoffs. I mean, it's not like it's a terrible roster, but it is, as I say, the Bills aftermath is going to be funny. And the final thing I'll say, one of the funniest things I saw, it was a picture of, you remember the Beverly Hillbillies?
Yes.
Eric. So I think, I didn't watch the show, but there's Jed. I think he was like the patriarch of the family that finds the oil, and they moved to Beverly Hills. Well, it's a gif of Jed, and it said, Terry Pagula has never seemed more like this guy than today. What an absolute moron of a man who stumbled into billions.
Yeah. No, that's just it. Jed Clumpett, I think, is the full name.
That's exactly
I want to ask you, too, without the Chiefs being in this tournament, how has your NFL playoff viewing experience been with no, like, the blood pressure is probably a little down. You're just kicking back and enjoying the circus.
Yeah, totally. I mean, needless to say, our work in the lock shop still has me very much invested and engaged in these games, which made me even more. I mean, all season long, as a AFC West guy, a hater of the Broncos, and a non-believer in the Broncos, I had been waiting all year long to bet against them at home in the playoffs. So I was as crushed as most Bills fans were with what happened on Saturday. But it's been fun. I mean, we had a Jets Leafs game on Saturday night. So I actually watched the fourth quarter in overtime from my seat on my phone, and then went into the Seattle game where I've been backing Seattle for the last little bit. So that was beautiful, a no sweat win. And I got to tell you, again, I'm glad I wasn't a Rams or a Bears fan, because that game, like, I've had a lot of, overtimes and Super Bowls and stuff. Like, I feel like my nerves have been prepared, but it was sort of funny being, on the outside without having a team in it, just a bet on the game. The ups and downs of that Rams-Bears game and that play. Is the one thing that's really too bad that the Rams won the game, because if the Bears win, that play by Caleb Williams on fourth down at the end of the fourth quarter legitimately becomes one of a handful of the most famous plays in NFL playoff history. And unfortunately, it's going to sort of be more, I think, of a footnote now that, remember that one? But they lost after he threw a pick later on.
It's that you could have been auctioning off prints of that at future, charity. That you're right, but then it does turn into a photo. The natty the other night with Mendoza in that run up the middle where he does, it's like Elway-esque. But again, if you don't get that over the line, it's kind of all for naught in the end. And that Caleb Williams, that we had the radio call. Somebody will remind me of the name. We play. Who's the guy that does NFL radio?
Kevin Harlan.
I mean, he's always got the great calls, but his call on that play was just, it was amazing. And it was Komet's first catch of the game, I think. They didn't look at him at all until that point.
It's a bizarre play too. It was like the DB thought that it was over. Like, there's no way this play is still going on, and sort of turned around and go back. Yeah. And to the back of the end zone.
For the Bears, though, beating the Packers, I think is, and we'll see how their evolution kind of turns out here over the years. I mean, not the best defense, and ultimately, I mean, the comebacks. You come back all season long. This falls just a bit short, but they can probably still stick that feather in their cap of knocking the Packers out of the tournament, and maybe you don't even take that game against the Rams, and you just say, okay, we're done. We've done our job. This is the win, and you leave it at that. But yeah, my brother is a Bears fan. That was the one team after the Bills were bounced that I was kind of, from the heart pulling for to kind of make a run here. But
tough weekend for the Bros. Oh man.
Yeah, no, that's just how it goes. Hey, football ended in November for us anyway, so that's kind of how we're viewing the total football landscape.
Right. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? With all the doom and gloom about your NFL team, you are Grey Cup champs.
I sleep easy.
And for a team that has won so few championships, this one means more for Saskatchewan.
It in the salary cap era, we've done pretty good thus far. But okay, moving on here quickly, and I mean, conference championship Sunday here: Pats, Broncos, Rams, Seahawks. I don't know if I did watch prior to you coming on. I watched Bob Weeks' 47-minute special on the upcoming Scotties, and I know you and I probably won't talk until it's long gone. But I don't know if you want to dive into that too, but maybe conference championships first, if you wanted to dive into that quickly.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm sure we'll kind of wait to kind of go all in on picks and props and everything on Friday's show. Where are we at right now? Are you still seeing 4.5 for the Pats and 2.5 for the Seahawks?
Up at playalberta.ca right now, Pats -5 and the Seahawks -2.5.
Yeah, I think that this 2.5 is going to be pretty solid. And as I say, we were talking about this yesterday. The difference between 4.5 and 5 and even 5.5 is negligible. I mean, that's the one kind of zone in NFL scoring, a little different in the CFL.
Yeah.
You almost never have a 5-point game. I mean, a team is either going to win by 4, 6, or 7. So I honestly, as long as it's in that zone between 4.5 and 5.5, to me, it is where it is. It's more than 4, and less than 6. I mean, obviously, I think the Patriots, are the favorite, and they should be. I'll say this though. I mean, the Denver defense, is excellent, and it has been great all year long. And we maybe took our eyes off it a little bit with what Houston had been doing. And listen, that defense, I think I'd like them against either of the teams that are playing this week, if they just had an even average pedestrian day from their quarterback. CJ Stroud was garbage, and see what happens with him even getting like his extension moving forward. I mean, it's a long ways removed from that great rookie season that he had.
Yeah,
I think he spent a couple years getting high on his own supply, if you know what I'm saying. And now it's time for him to, maybe get back to reality. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and he just didn't seem to be ready for the moment. I'm certainly hoping the Patriots win this game, and again, it's just the worst of two evils. I mean, the worst case scenario would be Denver somehow finding a way to win it with the backup quarterback, and we'd never hear the end of it.
Oh yeah,
and it would that to me is the worst case scenario. And I think just for the quality of the Super Bowl, you want to have Drake May MVP, whether he's either going to win it or be the runner-up between he and Stafford. I mean, a Rams Patriots with the top 2 quarterbacks from the season would, I think, be a great matchup. And Seattle is full marks for what they've done. And I'm a Darnold guy. Sammy Darts, would love to see him get a chance to play in the Super Bowl after the crazy path that his career's taken him. But as far as the spread goes, like, the Denver defense is definitely good enough to keep them in that game. The crowd will be ready to go. They'll be behind them. And I got to tell you, Sean Payton, as much as head coach of a rival team, very egotistical, lots of things not to like about him, the guy knows how to call a game. I mean, the first 15 plays that he had scripted for that game last week was a masterclass. But it's just so hard to wrap your head around the fact to do it without without your starting quarterback for a guy that's taken one snap, and it was a kneel down this year. So a lot of intrigue. I mean, I think I probably ride with the Patriots in this one.
Yeah.
And I'm leaning Seahawks, but to me, this is more of a coin flip. Like, in reality, I think this is kind of more of a pick 'em. I get that they've got the home field and you're going to get the 3 points, so they're going to make it 2.5 in this one. But man, Eric, I mean, I know you always do the Monday and Thursday nights at the casino for football. I mean, would you not agree that the Seahawks-Rams game, what was it, about 4 weeks ago, that was basically for control of the NFC, the 38-37 game was probably the game of the year?
This could be your Super Bowl.
100%.
We've talked about the NFC West, and too bad for the Niners. Injuries, catch up to you. Rams 7-1 at home during the regular season, 5-4 on the road. But I'm with you here. I know a lot of people have the Rams preseason pick, Stafford, all that stuff. They have weaponry. I like this game a lot, and I do like where you're going with the pick'em. And in terms of playoff seeding, I mean, the Rams, again, finishing second in that tough division, having to go on the road and do what they've done, battle-tested now. Tough place to play, Seattle. I get that. But they know it. They're familiar with it. They've been there. They've done that. I do think that this will be, and again, with Matt Stafford, like, heart is with Darnold, head is with Stafford. I have nothing against Sam Darnold. I think it's a great story. Vikings fans, plug your ears or whatever. Jets fans, like that's part of the story. That's what you're kind of pulling for the guy in himself. And Seattle full marks for what they've done all year, and certainly playing at home is a big advantage with them. But when it comes to the Rams, man, and Stafford, and I kind of you kind of go cross-eyed a bit, and you just envision, and you can see, like, yeah, Drake May v. Matt Stafford Super Bowl, old meets young, that type of storyline developing here. So I think, yeah, the 2.5. I do like the Rams in this one. I could see them just as easily coming away with a win as the Seahawks can, even though it's in Seattle.
I think this is a straight up 50-50. Now, here's something, and I'll throw this to the chat as well. Let's just, for the moment, have some fun with, and I've looked this up. What do you think the hypothetical Super Bowl line would be based on what happens this week? So, a line on, what would it be if it was Rams, New England? What would it be if it was Rams, Denver? What would it be if it was Seattle, New England, or Seattle, Denver? Interested? Anyone? If you want to, I'll throw it out in a minute. Just in the chat, if you've got any guesses on any of those matchups. I see Tom Halleck. The Riders won the Grey Cup in Winnipeg. So LTE, this one will last a lifetime, as Sam Rosen said.
It does sweeten it a bit more, yeah. I know.
Would it be better if Eric was confident enough that they were going to win to actually join us in Winnipeg
couldn't get the time off. Bench was short bench.
That's right.
I came in and performed the day after, which was highly admirable, or admiral, if you will, for some NFL press releases.
So, Eric, I'll just put this. What do you think if it would be if the Rams and Patriots won? What would the line be?
I think you'd side with experience there in the Rams.
Exactly, yeah. So it would be Rams -3 if it's Rams-Patriots. They've got the Seahawks-Patriots hypothetical Super Bowl matchup at Seattle -3.5. A Rams-Denver Super Bowl would be Rams -8.5.
Mm-hmm.
And Seahawks-Denver would be Seahawks 9.5. So needless to say, we need the Patriots to win just for the sake of having a fun week of talking about the big game and some level of suspense as to who's going to
with the
win.
Defense and Mile High and the running game. Like J.K. Dobbins he's putting out an Instagram story, right? All this stuff. Stidham just needs to go in there and not screw this up.
Manage the game.
manage the game. And you mentioned Sean Payton. It's going to be a stiff test, don't get me wrong, but there's a scenario where, and I know much to your chagrin, and mine as well, could see it happening.
I know. Bronco Nick's in the chat, but with some pretty good guesses on those. And as I say, I just went in. I just pulled up an article from one of the American books that actually list all 4 games, and if you can bet it, and if the game doesn't happen, it's void. But that's the thing. I got a lot of respect for Peyton and what he'll be able to do. And listen, he's got a full week. I think that's part of the reason why he just came right out and said, listen, Bo's out. He's having surgery on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Steve's going to be ready to go. And, this isn't something, I guess, listen, if you want to, like for Bronco Nick and the Bronco fans out there, there's a few things I think you can lean on. You got a hell of a defense that should be able to keep you in any game. You've got a Super Bowl winning coach that is a very, very brilliant game planner. I think he knows the skills and the things that his players bring to the table. Listen, Stidham hasn't played a lot for him, but there's a reason why he's on the roster ahead of all the other guys. They could have had the option. And then you put all that together, and if you can stay in that game, it's there. Now, Patriots have a great defense. Drake May has been awesome this year, and I thought really stepped up later on in that game after the early turnovers. But I'll tell you what, he's going to have to take care of the football.
Yeah.
I mean, you put a couple on, if the Bronco pass rush gets to him anywhere near as much as Houston did, and that Will Campbell, the rookie tackle, he's had a couple rough playoff games. So, I mean, you get a turnover, you get a couple big plays, maybe something on special teams. I mean, this game absolutely could. In fact, the more I'm talking myself into this,
right?
I'm thinking about maybe taking Denver the points.
Whoa.
In that game. Although, as I say, I mean, from a Chiefs fan perspective, I do not want to see the Broncos in the Super Bowl. And based on certainly what the lines say, I think our best and most competitive Super Bowl would be with the Patriots and the winner of the NFC. But I wouldn't be surprised if much like the AFC Championship game in the last number of years, Mahomes, Lamar, Mahomes, Josh Allen, I think, and then the Super Bowl is, listen, the Chiefs played really close games with the exception of the Tampa one. To me, I think this is going to be the game of the playoffs. I mean, it was the game of the year in the regular season. I expect nothing different. Prime time, late game on the West Coast, Rams, Seahawks, the rubber match, and we see who moves on. And as I say, if the Super Bowl can match up to what we're going to get on Sunday in that NFC game, football fans will be happy.
What's the party planning out in Winnipeg for the big game? Do you guys do anything for Championship Sunday, or is it just Super Bowl? Or
you know what? I mean, I usually go to, a bar just down the street. Like, we haven't done a big WST thing. Usually, honest to God, the last week in January around here, and right now, I don't know. How cold is it there right now, by the way?
It's going to be a little nippy this weekend, but we've had plus temperatures, but we're kind of sliding down, minus 10-ish type of thing.
See, you guys are lucky because you're close enough to the West Coast. There is this polar vortex that's coming into the middle of the country. And I'll tell you, right now it's not too bad here in Winnipeg, minus 16. You can live with that. But I mean, and this is perfect, just in time for the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers to come to town tomorrow.
Yeah.
Welcome back to town, Pomo. How's a daytime high of minus 28?
That's I was going to ask what's going on in Jets land. I mean, you had 3-1 over the Blues yesterday, but the Paul Maurice return is still something that, people get up for, hey?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they've won back-to-back cups probably has something to do with it as well. But it's just funny to have the team from South Florida that seems to get everything gets to come to Winnipeg. And then we got Detroit on Saturday. And the next 3 days, minus 28, Thursday, minus 27 Friday, minus 29 Saturday.
Without the wind chill.
Grace of God, Eric, I'm going away next week, and I have a flight on Monday to Costa Rica, and that is going to be a lot nicer than minus 29 daytime high.
This is a WST business trip or just a total hustler, fun and fancy free?
You know, our partners sent me to the Costa Rica Poker Festival last year.
Beautiful.
And the timing of it is just so perfect, Eric. Like, you leave the Monday after Championship Sunday. So I've got the weekend to do my thing, everything, knowing that I've got my one real true week off a year, and we leave. Like, I'll be doing some content and stuff from there.
Yeah.
But we get to play in the tourney. We've got a day. Last year we went zip lining and an ATV thing sort of in the jungle, which was cool. There was a beach day, which we might do that sort of on our own. We're going to go golfing kind of closer to the hotel. We'll play in the tourney and just enjoy it. So yeah, it was good. We ran a contest, and someone, one of the other WSTers won it, and then Jeff Hamilton, who from the Free Press, who came into our poker tournament and immediately won the first 3 that he was in. He's coming with me as well, so we're gonna have a nice little crew down there. It should be a lot of fun. But as I say, for the lock shop, it is perfect because I get right into it. The 1 week that I'm off is sort of that lull of a week where we have to wait for Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
Jets are on the road, so that's going to be fun. But you ask about the Jets, the big news. I mean, obviously, this team's probably not making the playoffs. The team's return was great. Everyone was talking about that. The loss was devastating. They won last night against St. Louis, but I mean, this team needs to put 6 wins in a row and then another 5 wins. I mean, they've just dug themselves too big of a hole. But the announcement yesterday of the initial preliminary rosters for the alumni game for next year's Heritage Classic between the Jets and the Habs. And Blake Wheeler is going to be the captain for the Jets. He was in town. First ever captain, Andrew Ladd. He's going to be on the team. Brian Little, who, I mean, we just love that guy so much. He was like the glue of the team, and of course had his career cut short with a horrible injury.
Yeah.
In a game in Winnipeg where he never was able to play. And ironically, I think maybe his 5th last game in the NHL, he was scoring the overtime winner outdoors at the home of the Grey Cup champions, Mosaic Stadium in Regina, when the Jets played the Calgary Flames. So just to see Brian back on skates and playing one more time is going to be amazing for the fans. But the showstopper of the list, the one that everyone wanted to know, will he be or won't he be? He's in. Big Buff returning. And this is, I mean, if you remember at the start of the 2020 season, or I guess the start of the 2019 season, you know, he had a contract. We just, finished 2 incredible seasons amongst the top teams in the league.
Yeah.
He showed up, had a couple skates, just before training camp started, and then said, no, not doing it anymore. And walked away from 2 years on his deal at like $7 million. So he is an icon. He's certainly, the most popular player in Jets history and a unique character, to say the least. So the fact that Big Buff's coming back has people really fired up.
Plucking him out of the fishing lodge, eh?
Yeah. So, listen, he's a real one. Like, you can find him almost at any point. I would bet right this second, if we had a Buff tracker, three things I can guarantee, probably. He's got a fishing rod in his hand. He's got a dip in his lip, and he's probably got a cold one in some sort of a koozie.
That's the dream.
In an ice fishing shack somewhere out there in Minnesota. So that's going to be a really fun event next year. Obviously, I was going to say, it'd be cool if there was a football game around it, but they're taking over the football stadium. So the Bombers will be off for a couple weeks. But I'm still wanting next year, or at some point in the future, Eric, for you and I to hook up, you in green, me in blue, at a Bomber Rider game, whether that's the Banjo Bowl, whether that's the LDC, whether that's a playoff game, I think we need to make that happen. I will travel to Regina for it. In fact, I'll count myself in for Labor Day next year.
Do they have any of those games? Like I'm looking at preseason week 2. The Bombers visit the Riders. Are there any of those games they play this year when it's that one-off here? No, that's.
Third game. Do we have a third game this year? I'm not.
There's
sure.
no third game. No third game. No, because I wouldn't mind going to that neutral kind of type of game. Obviously not a neutral site, but I don't go to any more Labor Day Classics. I can't get myself involved in the legalities of what might happen there in Regina because I've come quite close a couple of times. And again, getting out to Winnipeg during that time of year, Labor Day-ish and everything, there's a lot of stuff going on. And sometimes, again, short bench and I can't get the time. But, however, I will keep the dream alive. And by hook or by crook, we'll do it.
We have moved the Banjo Bowl thanks to, and listen, I've done a couple of things that I'm proud of in life, but maybe the thing that has the most impact on our sports scene is lead the charge for 3 years, banging the table on 1290, that having the Banjo Bowl on the first day of the NFL season was literally the stupidest thing that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers had ever done. And previous management, it was like a CFL versus NFL, and you got to choose. Yeah. Dude, everyone has a fantasy team. Everyone's fired up for that day. Like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, it's the one weekend Saturday. You can't compete.
And for Rider fans, having it on Sunday with no holiday the next day, it was impossible for them to do it and turn it around and make it back for work.
Yeah.
So they moved it to late on Saturday. It has become a massive, massive success, way beyond anything that it was like before. And let's face it, with how good the Bombers have been and where they're at support-wise, and now with the Riders as Grey Cup champs, I got to tell you, that Labor Day game at Banjo Bowl this year, especially with them being the only 2 matchups between the teams this season, this could be a couple of the most anticipated games in the rivalry in a long time.
Highly important when you don't have that third sticking out like a sore thumb in the schedule. Quickly, 25 degrees Monday, Costa Rica. Mainly sunny.
Nice. That's just 50 degrees Celsius difference. So I will
You'll take it. Yeah.
Hey, when are the Bombers and Elks playing this year? Do you have that in front of you by any chance?
Let's take a quick peek. I'll bring that up here. Because I wouldn't mind having an EST, WST bowl as well. And of course, we took our very successful speaking of Labor Day bus down to Calgary. Yes. People are still talking about that. That'll for sure be on the schedule again. Once we get more details, we'll pass them to you. But Edmonton, Winnipeg. Elks visit Winnipeg Thursday, June 25. Winnipeg will visit Friday, August 21. And Winnipeg will also visit Friday, October 16. 7:30.
Nice. A couple Fridays.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do my best to make one of those happen. Get a chance to meet a bunch of the ESTers.
See, that's the thing. You coming out here is more of a pop than me going out there, because a lot more people out here want a piece of you, want a little slice of the husk. Guaranteed. There'd be a lineup around the block for an autograph. 1 to 3, we could set up a table, maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, and it would be nonstop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, we'll definitely have a table. We'll have a few cold ones on it. I will say that. That is for sure. Listen, I know we've talked a lot of football right now. Am I correct? So with the loss last night to the Devils, have the Oilers still not won 3 in a row this season?
It's funny. You were talking about the Jets earlier, and you're like, they need to win 6 games. And I know when they had that terrible slump, after that, I think what did they pepper off? 4 straight?
They went 4 in a row and then blew one to the Leafs and lost in OT.
But regardless, though, you won 4 in a row. This Oilers team, and I think the only other team are the Blues that haven't managed a 3-gamer this year, have been the Oilers. They've come close 8-9 times, I think, this season, where they've won 2 and failed to get the 3rd. But yeah, last night, 8 o'clock puck drop locally. You're up till 11 watching an absolute snoozer of a game tight as it was, Jake Allen owns the Oilers. The last 5 starts, he's been incredible, picking up dubs. And again, I think Joaquin Gage mentioned they may have partied a little too hard after Nuge's 1,000th game the other night, and perhaps that was the reason. But they do have this schedule here ending January and leading up to that Olympic break where it's like an 8-gamer at home. And a lot of those games have the opposition coming off a game in Calgary the prior night, which Pittsburgh is doing tonight. They'll be in town Thursday.
4 in a row?
Yeah, the Devils were in Calgary the night before. So, I mean, maybe sometimes it doesn't always work out, but you're getting these teams coming off a game the prior night. You got to think and you got to figure that somehow, some way, they will get 3 in a row during that homestand in between now and the Olympic break. But we every time they've gotten 2, we've said this, oh yeah, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one, and they will go out and prove us wrong. So it's a funny thing, and it's the company you keep residing in that Pacific Division. You don't necessarily need to win 3. I mean, if they did a couple of times, half of those times, they'd be at the top, I guess, comfortably right now. Vegas 3 games in hand and 2 points up. But you're surviving in a division where nobody, I mean, the Golden Knights are there. You got the Ducks, you got the Kings, you got the Kraken, you got the Sharks, all kind of, taking that 3 spot in that final wild card and handing it off to each other every second night. So it's not the end of the world. It's just kind of mildly frustrating. And you do figure that if they do get that 3 in a row, they could pop off for 9, because we've seen this team be very streaky in the past.
Well, and it's interesting. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a 2-horse race between the Oilers and Knights for the Pacific Division. I still can't believe the Oilers haven't won a division title since 1987. Like, that is the most bizarre stat.
It's odd
out there. But look, I mean, they're going to be going toe to toe. Obviously, the Vegas Golden Knights just got Rasmus Andersson, which is a big boost. But it's all going to come down to the playoffs, as it normally does, and we'll see whether they can win a couple more games than they have in the last couple seasons. I like the way things have gone for Edmonton, though. The fact that they haven't gone on this big run right now, they're still in a really good spot. We know they're going to be a playoff team. This team, having gone to the max the last couple seasons, I think has sort of had the regulator on through the first few months of the season. Yeah. And they'll be ready to go. And obviously the trade deadline is going to be fascinating to see if there's any moves. I don't know how much they really can do based on their cap situation.
It's going to be tough.
They have somebody help them out, but it'll be good. What do we got tonight? 1, 2, 3.
6 games, I do believe. Ducks in Colorado, and the Ducks they had their, obviously the start they got off to, they fell in a bit of a hole, but they've won 4 straight heading into Colorado tonight.
Big one between Detroit and the Leafs. And Detroit's been awesome. They'll be ready to go. I don't mind them actually at even money. I know the Leafs played kind of well on that road trip. I didn't think they particularly deserved that win in Winnipeg. They got a couple very fortunate wristers from OEL through traffic to tie the game up, and then credit for winning it in OT. But man, everyone's just been waiting for Detroit to fall off all season long, and they haven't done it. And you know what? It is not out of the question. We talked so much about when are all these teams going to finally take a step forward and make the playoffs. It was Detroit, it was Buffalo, it was Ottawa. I don't like Ottawa's chances, but we could have both Detroit and Buffalo and Montreal in the playoffs. If that happens, that probably means the Leafs are out. And who had Pittsburgh being in the mix right now? Not me, probably not Kyle Dubas either.
Not even Pittsburgh, no. And Tampa 13-0-1 and they're past 14 game point streak, and the Wings 2 points back of them with that run that Tampa's been on. Yeah. Tampa 2 games in hand, but so it's great hockey right now in the Atlantic near the top, and the Habs right there, as you mentioned too, getting a last minute win last night. But going back to the Buffalo talk, the Sabres thing has been 16-6-3 at home. I'm looking from afar, but I'm really hoping just for that fan base and just for hockey in general to have some new blood involved. That they can continue what they're doing, because it's a fun ride to watch.
I'm just looking. They won 10 in a row. and they lost one 1-3. So they were 13-1, 13-2, 15-2. Then they lost 2 to really good teams, Hurricanes and Wild.
Yeah.
And they beat the Preds. So they're 16-4 through 20 games. And it's funny, they were at the bottom. That's basically what the Jets would have to do to get back in. If the Jets went 16-4 in 20 games, they ended up being 9 games above 500. That would put them into a playoff spot. So it's a pretty daunting path for the team around my neck of the woods. But the Buffalo Sabres have done it. And we'll look forward to seeing if they can continue tonight. Just quickly for picks before I'm out, I am going to ride with the Wings tonight in Toronto. Always fun betting against the Leafs, let's face it. And tell you what, big opportunity for Pittsburgh taking on Calgary. And Calgary's sort of, okay, welcome Zach Whitecloud, new team there. Pittsburgh's right in it. I'll take Pittsburgh at -119. And geez, this is 3 road teams. I don't always like to do that, but I do like the Islanders on the West Coast against the Kraken. Can I put that up? Probably get it in between about +575 and 6-1.
I love it. And we can't wait for the Shelovs Ingram game between the Penguins and Oilers come tomorrow night as well, as we imagine that's what we've all been craving, Shelovs v. Ingram. Real quickly before we let you go, Einerson, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's Carey versus the field. I think when you're looking at Tournament of Hearts betting, I mean, I'm Team Carey for life. But I mean, listen, I could tell you that, with it being so wide open.
Yes.
I mean, this Christina Black, like she was so amazing at the Olympic trials. I could see her being in the mix. The Northern Ontario rink is always good. That's Sturmey. I think that's the younger group from Alberta, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So, I mean, to me, I think I'm going to make a little bet on Carey to win. But then, focus in on, some top 2, top 3, top 4s, as well as putting together maybe something for a team to qualify from pool play. There's also, you can bet to win silver, to win bronze, to place 4th, like specifically, or just to be in the top 2 or top 3, 4. So, Caitlin Laws is interesting. Like, I'm not sure where her rank is at right now. I might sort of pass Laws with her being the second favorite and look at Black and look at a couple of those Alberta rinks. Skrlik is the young girls, right?
Yeah, Skrlik's the younger. Yeah. Pardon me. Yeah. Sturmey's the other.
Big fan of theirs. And I think they've gotten so much great experience over the last couple of years being in these big events that now you take Holman out. I don't think they'll be starstruck anymore. I think I'm going to throw a little sprinkle down on her. I'm seeing things like 165 for top 4, plus 290, top 3, top 2, plus 550, and to win it 16-1. I do expect, though, Carey Anderson to get her 5th Scotties title. Heavy
Manitoba, as you've also got the Beth Paterson rink with Caitlin Laws and the Anderson. So you'll be fun to watch from your point of view. It's going to be great kicking that off on Friday. I can't wait. Scotties and Huss, you're out of here. Enjoy Costa Rica, man. Good luck. You heard it there. Andrew Hustler Paterson, Winnipeg Sports Talk, as he exits and makes his way, or gets ready to make his way to Costa Rica next week. We appreciate his time. We're wrapping it up now. Are we done now? Yeah. For producer extraordinaire Hernan Salas on the other end, I'm Lieutenant Eric. Thank you for putting up with me for the past hour. Dusty, I think we'll be back tomorrow with the Lock Shop. Coming up next, it is Oil Stream. Who's on that? Is it Tommy? Tommy again today? Tommy's got the Oil Stream next. Thank you to Play Alberta as well. Download the app or playalberta.ca. Get on Conference Championship Sunday. Get on the puck tonight as well and ride with us on our 4-game NBA special up at EST Specials. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to Lock Shop here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.